He was smiling at Lauren. "I know both of them." "I never touch salt," Lauren said to the man next to her, who was offering her a little hopper of salt with a tiny spoon stuck in it. "But if I did, I certainly wouldn't spoon it out of that thing." Then her face became radiant and she smiled at Van Arcady. "Two people in China. I love it." "I've been to China," Van Arcady said. "Everyone's been to China," Lauren said, still smiling. Lady Newhouse said, "Hugo, did it ever occur to you that you might not be one of those 5,000? "The thought never entered my head," Van Arcady said. Lauren, at that moment, seriously wondered, if he's right, am I one of them? It did not come in words. She saw herself fleetingly in half-shadow as a small, dim, rejected figure without a face. She worried for a few uncertain seconds that Van Arcady might be joking. He had talked the whole time, acting as host, pouring wine, and pronouncing. Who was he? The others had become nervous. The conversation had faltered. She hoped it was not a joke. She could not see a joke in it. It was so extraordinary that she wanted it to be true. "And I have a theory," Van Arcady said. And the people relaxed a little, glad that he was managing all the talk. He was ugly and interesting, about her father's age, but dark. And what sort of name was Van Arcady? This theory is that if you live long enough, you meet them all. "It's a metaphor," Julian Shuttle said, too loud. He was very angry and speaking to the table at large. He was young, about 30, and had recently been asked by General Newhouse to join the Hemisphere Institute. When Lauren told the General that she had decided not to study China as she had planned, but to start from scratch on the Persian Gulf, she was put in Julian's office. Julian was an Arabist. Lauren suspected that the General was trying to frighten her into resuming her studies of the Chinese economy. But Julian was not the sort to intimidate her, and when she said that she didn't know anything about the Gulf, he said, "Don't worry about it. That's what fellowships are for." He was kind and intelligent, and although he was Lauren's age, he had an endearing way of behaving like her younger brother. "A metaphor?" Van Arcady said. "No, it's not that at all." His manner was patronizing. He did not insist, and it made him seem very sure of himself. "It's a fact. I can name many of them." "Carry on," Julian said, looking nervous and bold. Van Arcady said, "The names would mean nothing to you, young man." Lauren admired the man's roosterish arrogance. When she was impressed, her face shone. The excitement whipped up her blood and made her prettier. And the man's arrogance somehow went with his ugliness and made him majestic. "What about the rest of the people in the world?" Julian asked. His voice cracked a little. He was upset, and he seemed beseeching rather than challenging. Van Arcady ignored Julian. He turned to the other dinner guests, but he answered Julian's question. He said, "The rest don't really matter. 1 million dead here, 2 million there. It is part of a natural cycle. Yes, even massacres. There is murder in nature. Oh, please don't think I'm insensitive. I believe the death of one man can change the course of history, when it is the right man, and when we are fully conscious of it. But 1 million don't matter, because it isn't a number in any actual sense, unless it's applied to money. $1 million is an easy thing, but 1 million men is impossible to imagine. My 5,000 is a reality, but," and here he smiled at Julian Shuttle, "1 million men is a metaphor." Julian seemed to sulk at this, and at the end of the table Mrs. Timothy Beach whispered, "My cleaning lady said, 'a blue fouillade.' That's a kind of duck, isn't it?" "We don't feel 1 million, Van Arcady was saying. "You can't honestly say that you miss all those Ethiopians and Chinese. Their deaths don't change anything, and a truthful but callous person might argue that we're all a jolly sight better off without them. We make a pointless virtue out of keeping people alive. It's one of the follies of our century. It's a mere conceit making us feel powerful. But it's sometimes much kinder to allow people to die in their own way than to keep them alive our way." Lauren was thrilled at this. Not the details of the argument, but the calm, cruel way the man stated it, and she wanted him to notice her approval. Over dessert, it became a